Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be recapping Season 1, Episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead. I have decided to switch up my format. The last episode was very long and drawn out, and it just seemed like it took forever. And so with this episode, I figure let's do the 5-point recap system. I mean, I'll pick 5 of the most major points we're finding per episode. I will talk about them, and this will go by so much faster. Number 1, we have Matt and Alicia. Matt is clearly very sick. We all know what's going on because we watched Season 1 of The Walking Dead. He has clearly been bit or scratched or something along those lines. And when the parents show up to pick up Alicia, they're like, "Get away, get away!" She ends up going with her parents and leaving because we all know what's about to happen. And I don't think that he wanted her around for that. And I don't even know if he knew what was going on. Number 2, I found this overall theme in this episode of people preparing for something bad to happen. We see Tobias in the school who kind of navigates to where the food is and wants to start stocking up. We see the cop who, while Travis is going to try to get his kid from downtown, he sees this cop like hoarding water, and they actually show a shot of the trunk with all of the water in it because I think that cop knows what's going down. Clearly he's seen those things regenerate. Clearly he has seen the effects of what's going on, and I think not only him, but people that are starting to get more aware of this are starting to prepare for shit to hit the fan. The one quote that Tobias said when she dropped him off, "This doesn't end. This doesn't end." Well, they have no clue. Number 3, we see the first kill by one of our new kind of permanent cast members that we're going to be following. Madison bashes her principal in with a fire extinguisher. And one thing that is kind of interesting about this whole situation is she gets to the school to try to get the drugs to help Nick get through his withdrawals. She runs into Tobias, and they can hear the over that speaker, and I think it kind of shows you something that's happening from the beginning of the episode with the teacher, well, principal, who's holding the walkie-talkie walking through the school. For some reason, I feel like the walkers, when they first turn in this day and age, are a lot smarter. I think that they are able to do basic things, kind of like press the button on the walkie-talkie. Or if you go back to Season 1 of The Walking Dead, when Morgan's wife, the zombie, motherfucker turns the doorknob, I think that when they are freshly turned, they are still able to do little tasks like that. They're a lot smarter. They're also a lot harder to kill, because she had to bash that guy's head in multiple times with that fire extinguisher before he finally went out. Number 4, we finally meet the Salazars, the barbershop family. We finally see this downtown riot starting to go down. Like, I knew that as soon as this series started, there was going to be some sort of like chaos in the middle of the city. Travis's other son, Chris, well, his biological son, Chris, is getting off of the bus and wants to see the commotion. There's a protest going on. Everyone's kind of rioting and freaking out, like, "You can't do that. You can't shoot people." And I'm sure that they don't understand why, and I'm sure once they understand why, they won't feel so angry about it. They'll probably be a little more thankful. And as they're trying to flee from this riot with, you know, walkers getting shot in front of everyone, nobody knows what's going on, so they're losing their shit. They come across this barbershop, and the looting and the rioting, I mean, people are starting to shake cars and setting fires, and they don't want to be caught in the middle of it, so they're like, "Please, please let us in." The wife is like, "Let them in." And obviously you can tell the dad's kind of like, "I don't want to deal with strangers." I'm sure once we learn a little bit more about him, we'll find out why. But they basically barricade themselves in this barbershop, and they are going to ride it out. I have always known this just because I live in a very Hispanic area as it is. But when mom or grandma busts out the rosary beads, you know shit is about to hit the fan or something really bad is happening. You don't bust out the rosary beads unless some shit is going down. So when she's praying over the candles, I'm like, oh no, she knows. She knows something about to happen. Which brings me to number 5. The timeline is what I wanted to talk about. If you remember, the beginning of the first episode is like the beginning of a school day. The day is starting probably about 8 a.m. Where the second episode has ended, it's barely about to become nightfall, so I'd say probably about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's not very late. It's probably only been about the span of like 12 hours at this point, and we're already starting to see the downfall of humanity within this 12-hour time period. The cell phone service is already starting to crackle, you know, in Madison's house when she's trying to get a hold of Travis. Where are you? Where are you? You can hear the cell phone service is starting to dim down. You can see that the neighbor was getting mauled across the street, and Madison is like, fuck no, are you going over there? And what I don't understand is why they don't just explain to them what the hell's going on. It would save a lot of problems, but whatever. So I can only imagine what's going to happen like over the period of a week since this is all starting to hit the fan. I also am excited that they announced a kind of spin-off thing. I don't know if it's just one episode or what, but it's going to be when the outbreak is happening, but it's going to be on an airplane. So it's going to be like zombie apocalypse meets snakes on a plane, and I really, really hope they get Samuel L. to do this episode because it would be hilarious. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks for episode 3. See ya later. Bye.